Any wires and stuff. Why can't everything be wireless?
You just got to cut them all. If you cut all the pieces out, then you won't
just
have
cut
the wires. Yeah.
And it works?
That's how wireless works.
That's all I did?
Yeah. You just cut the wires.
You were a genius. All right, I'll be back in a second. And then immediately the video goes black. Hey guys, what's up? This is Titus back with another episode of the Search for Awesome podcast. I'm Titus.
Titus? And I'm Mikey.
You done? Was it really that high pitch?
It was super high.
Okay. All right. Okay, this week we are going to be doing an unboxing, a first for the podcast. We're going to be having an update on MoviePass and something weird happened with Dyson.
We're also going to be talking about PUBG going mobile. Interesting. We're also going to be talking about how you can relive some of your favorite TV shows and movies from your past.
Hey, Mikey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited about this week because I think we have a lot of random stuff to do, but I'm like, I don't know. It's going to be fun because we got a little bit of interactivity going on. I have a box.
I got a box.
And so we're going to be unboxing some stuff in a second, but
mine's bigger than his. I just want to point that out there.
Yeah, it is. We'll talk about why that is. We bought the same thing.
I'm overachiever. I bought two.
This is not a sponsored podcast, by the way. Massdrop is a site that sells new stuff for slight discounts because basically they get a bunch of people together and they do really big orders. And then they do what they call drops that, where people can save a few bucks on new stuff. And this is a drop that Mikey came across. Do you want to tell us about it, Mikey?
A while back, we had a huge conversation about, in-ear monitors and trying to find really awesome ones. And
IEMs.
Yes, IEMs. And we really wanted to find some that we really liked, but we didn't know whether it was a good idea to buy some cheap ones or expensive ones, or we didn't know much about it. We know basic headphones, but, I didn't know if there was a difference or what. Well, I came across this drop, and I don't even remember the exact price. Do you remember the price of it?
I think it was $25 was the buy-in.
It's $25, but it's a mystery box. So you could get one of several different IEMs, even some special edition ones or whatever. So I got really excited about it. So initially what I did was I bought two, and then depending on what I got, I was going to send one to Titus. So I tell Titus about like, hey, I did a thing. I bought them. I'm going to send you one. And he's like, oh, well, I just ordered one. So now you can keep two. So hopefully I didn't get two of the same thing because I'm going to feel like a real idiot.
Oh, wait, is that why you ordered two? I guess I never understood that.
Yeah. That's what happened.
I thought you just wanted two.
And then here's the interesting part. So we've had these for a couple of days now. I think mine came in last Wednesday. So today is, when you're watching this, it'll be a week later probably because Titus is slow on editing. I mean, has to take time editing. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, that's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's Monday. So I received mine last Wednesday. He received his last Thursday, and I wanted to open it right away. But he wanted us to open it on the podcast. And I'm fine with that. I'm for it. I'm all supportive. But if you know me at all, I love opening packages.
Yes, you have been bugging me like insanely to open these things. You're like, dude, let's just open them out. We'll make a separate video. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, it'd be fun to do on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open them.
Yeah, let's do it.
So before we do that, like a couple of details about this thing, in case you're ever interested in doing this. There's a random chance that you might get something better than the base. So actually I looked it up, it was $23.99. The smallest prize that you can get is valued at $24.99. But then there are headphones or IEMs or whatever you want to call them that you can get that are actually a lot more expensive than that. In fact, some of them as expensive as $99.50 in value. And if you this particular contest hit certain goals, they would throw in different grand prizes. So it's kind of cool. So you pay $24, you're getting a $25 headphone at least, and you have a possibility of getting something even better. What are you doing, Mikey?
Nothing.
All right, go ahead. Open it. All right, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. These are, while you're opening them up, these are Brainwavez. I don't know anything about this brand, but the reviews are a little mixed, but hopefully they'll be pretty good. We'll see.
I'll reach in and pull one out.
So you're gonna do one, and then I'm gonna do one, and then
that's just plastic. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. He was showing plastics to the camera.
Okay.
What is this one?
This
what
one is the S3s. I don't remember what the.
Dude, those are the $74.99 ones.
Nice. That's awesome.
You had a 15% chance of getting those.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it comes with a hard case, a smart clip, 3.5 millimeter plug, standard tips, biflange tips, and tri-flange tips. Nice. All the tips.
Dude, congrats.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
That's
pretty nice.
That's more value than what you spent on it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, not sponsored. It might sound like this was rigged or something. This is all legit.
Do you want to go with the second one, or you want to open yours first?
I'm gonna open mine.
Okay. Oh, this one.
I kind of feel like we got like the best one at the very top.
I don't know. This one feels cool.
And by the way, some of these grand prize ones are valued, I think, up to like several $100s. All right, I'm opening mine up.
What'd you get?
Oh.
What'd you get?
I got the S5s.
What?
Dude, these are actually I feel bad. These are valued at $99.50.
Nice.
I feel a little weird right now. How did we both get the ones that were unlikely to get?
I don't know.
This might, again, not sponsored, I promise. We just...
All right,
anyway.
You ready for me? Yeah.
All right, last one. You
Let's
probably got like the grand big
Watch it be
one.
the basic ones.
I'm blown away right now.
These are the S0.
Dude, that's even better than the base one. That's $44.99. I did not think this was going to happen. I thought what was going to happen was that I was going to, because the lowest one was a Jive. That one's valued at $24.99. 30% of them had that. The ones that you just got had 30% as well. But then you got the S3s, which were 15%, and then this one's actually 9%. So I bought one, and I guess technically I got the better deal.
I mean, not technically though, because the two of mine are worth more than the one of yours.
That's true.
See what I mean?
That's true.
I don't. I mean, I'm happy because
I feel good about this, dude.
Yeah.
What, you want to wear them right now?
No.
Okay, we'll wear them next week.
There's a $100 bill in the bottom of the box.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm just kidding. I just
cool.
wanted to seem better than you.
I'm really wondering about the chances they list because we didn't get any of the cheapest ones.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's kind of crazy to me.
All right, we're gonna try them out. We'll both give you our thoughts. You're gonna try out both yours. I'm gonna try out mine. And we have these Bose headphones we can compare them to, so we'll compare them to these. But they're actually not designed for that. IEMs are actually, they call them in-ear monitors, and they're actually supposed to give more of a flat response curve. They're more for like editing and stuff like that. Bose and stuff like that typically have like, they boost the treble or the bass. So they play with the sound signature a little bit to make it a little more pleasing to the ears. IEMs are supposed to be more flat, so they're actually designed for work. But I mean, you can use them as headphones if you want. Thank you for telling me about this, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't think either of us. I thought all of it. I can't speak words right now. I thought we were just gonna get a bunch of the cheap ones.
I feel like because I originally bought these two to share with you, I feel like I should send you one of these and you should send me those. I feel like it's only fair.
Oh look! Oh, I was wrong. It's the Jive.
Awkward.
My bad. Never mind. I got the cheap ones. What was I?
Awkward.
How did I just now notice that? Now that you mentioned, that's so weird, man.
That's weird. That's very like awkwardly convenient.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, let's move on before we think about that too deeply.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds fair.
So we talked about MoviePass in the past, and we were concerned because last time we talked about them, they made some comments that kind of scared us a little bit. The CEO mentioned that the app tracked you going to and leaving movies and tracked where you were going. And it was a little confusing because technically, like, you wouldn't even need to use the app until you actually go to the movie theater. And apparently a lot of people were really uncomfortable with a lot of these things, that MoviePass was collecting all this data. We knew they were doing data collection, but it seemed a little sketch. Well, apparently the CEO realized that he made a lot of people very uncomfortable. Again, not us. We kind of both feel like it's probably, or at least I feel like it's probably worth the privacy dump because it's such a good service. It's $10 a month for as many movies in theaters as you want, one a day. But anyway, so he released an email. I guess every MoviePass member got it. I got it, and I'm gonna read a paragraph from it. talking about this data, what kind of data that they collect. So it says, he says, and I quote, "The MoviePass app currently uses standard location services compatibilities on an opt-in basis. So there are only 2 events that would prompt MoviePass to identify a member's locations. These include when a member requests to search for theaters nearby and when a member requests to check into a theater. Both events require the app to be open and for the members to request the action." So to kind of sum up in layman's terms, basically what he's saying is it will only track you when you open the app. So I had a question last time. I was like, how do they know when I'm going to a theater if I don't need the app until I'm actually at the theater? And so we talked about that a little bit. So apparently it actually does make sense because I would actually open the app before I go to the theater because I need to know the movie times. I need to just, I need to know where I'm going and that kind of stuff. And it makes sense for me to do it from the app. So apparently once I open the app, then it prompts me for my location data. So
it's like we talked about before. I feel like a lot of companies are doing this. They're taking your data and they're selling it to people and they're doing it behind your back. I feel like the fact that they're telling you that they're getting your data and that they're using it for other things, that they're kind of open about that and they're not trying to really hide it from you. To me, I mean, I'm overall not really concerned. And knowing that it's when the app is open and not just all the time. They're not somehow got like a backdoor into our phone and can record everything at all times. It's when we open the app and start using it. That's when.
Yeah, and I think you brought up such a good point last time because you were saying that, why are they collecting this data in the first place? And I mean, a lot of times the reason why they're collecting the data is to make the service better for you so they can essentially make more money. So like, I think some people see this as like malicious and it's like, you're trying to find out everything that isn't about me, but it's almost like to be a digital butler where they're just trying to kind of guide you and maybe offer you some things you may have not have been aware of. Sure, they're going to offer you some stuff that's going to make them money and maybe isn't the best for you.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they're trying to take advantage of us here. They're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when our data is being shared, it can be just sold for their own profit to whoever's buying it, and who knows what's being done with that data? Nobody knows, and that could end up in the wrong hands or whatever. They're just using this to try and create a better experience for us and in a way create a business market that works effectively for everybody, for all parties involved.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There are malicious things that companies can do with the data they collect. But I think by and large, like you think of Google and all that kind of stuff, like a lot of the data they're collecting, they're using just to make their service better.
Well, I mean, where would Google be today if they weren't collecting our data?
Yeah, they wouldn't be anywhere, and that's some people might argue that would have been a good thing, but I kind of think I'm happy that Google is the way they are. They seem to be pretty pro-consumer for the most part. Yeah. Occasionally they cross some lines, but this is about MoviePass, and I think MoviePass is a really valuable service, and it definitely is going to change business forever if they can, again, figure out how to make this profitable. So another piece of kind of news, I don't know if you really consider this news, but I did see some YouTubers talking about this, and I saw a website talking about this. But basically, Dyson released a new vacuum, which is cool. But on the day of launch, 8 major tech reviewers released videos featuring this vacuum, and people got pretty salty about it. In fact, if you go on these different videos, and by the way, they released it of the release of the vacuum. It was like in tandem with the launch, and people were kind of salty about it. If you go on the actual videos, you'll see that the dislike to like ratio is a little out of whack, and especially some of them got really hammered. Especially some of the smaller ones got pretty hammered from this thing, and it's pretty clear what happened. Dyson paid all these YouTubers to feature their product, which isn't unusual. This does happen from time to time. And but the real problem is, and it's kind of a problem. Well, some people feel that some of these reviewers, or tech reviewers, I should say, did a better job disclosing this partnership than others. Although I do think every single one of them said that at least something to the effect that Dyson provided it for free, or they were sponsored by Dyson or whatever. A couple of the YouTubers involved, Andrew Edwards, iJustine, Austin Evans, Linus Tech Tips, Hardware Canucks, another one I hadn't heard of, Jim's Review Room, Your Average Consumer, I've heard of him, and Dave Lee, I've also heard of him. I watched a couple of these videos, and to be fair, of the ones I watched, I didn't feel like they were doing anything like lying to people's faces or misrepresenting anything, but I could see a point. And the main problem here is none of the reviewers had anything, at least anything I saw. And by the way, these weren't really technically reviews. They were just like videos featuring the product. But I didn't see anyone saying anything negative about the product. But here's the thing, they're tech reviewers. They're not vacuum critics.
You hit the nail on the head. They're not vacuum critics here. So, I mean, who's to say what's really good or bad about a vacuum, right? We're talking about Dyson products here. I mean, I personally, have owned Dysons before and currently own a Dyson, and I can't really say anything negative about them. The only negative thing I've ever had to say about a Dyson vacuum is it doesn't work well after falling down a flight of stairs. I feel like most vacuums don't, so it's not really fair.
Dude, why didn't they try that in these videos,
I don't know.
Maybe this new one,
Maybe then they would have had something negative to say. But, I mean, the problem here is we're talking about vacuums. Like, most of these guys, like Linus Tech Tips, I mean, he reviews computers and stuff. I mean, had this been a computer and he had nothing to say negative about it, okay, fine, maybe, sure. But it's a vacuum. Did it work? Did it look nice? Did it function properly? My bet is, without even having to watch the video, my bet is probably yes. Like I said, it's Dyson. This isn't some new vacuum company either. There's someone that's been at this game for a long time. They're really good at making their products. I can see where that kind of makes it a little standoffish, but at the same time, I can also see where it'd be easy to open up a product like that and not really have anything negative to say, unless they were doing something completely new that wasn't working out properly.
Yeah, I did hear one YouTuber who is pretty vocal that he wasn't exactly pleased. He wasn't that harsh, but he really felt that every tech reviewer should, at the beginning of the video, say any associations you have with that brand in the past or in the future or currently. And basically he had his list of things that he wanted every tech reviewer to go through before they start any video. And I kind of felt like, okay, that's good. If you are being sponsored or whatever, sure, be clear, be upfront. But come on, like at some point, it's like, well, I don't know. I feel like some of these people built up so much trust that like I really don't think they would sacrifice it for a payday.
Well, not only that, I mean, what you're talking about is I feel like we're in our third company since we started this episode of this podcast. We're on our third company here. So you mean to tell me we're going to end up spending more time disclosing our affiliation and past and present with these companies than we actually spend talking about these subjects? You know what I'm saying? Like you go from spending like an 8-minute video talking about this vacuum to now like a 22-minute video because you've got to sit there and disclose all of your relationship with this company. I don't know. To me, that just sounds like a waste of time.
Yeah.
When you could just make something small, make a small comment. It's either sponsored or it's not.
Well, and to be fair, this guy, I may have overstated kind of what he was saying and his criticism of this practice, but I mean, it was like his opinion was like the first 30 seconds of the video should be disclosures, and then he even felt that way even if you bought the product. And I was like, come on, man, like really? If I bought the product, you want me to say something? Like, come on. Anyway. I feel like you build your trust, and like if you're being shady, someone's gonna call you out on it, and definitely disclose if money's exchanging hands. But yeah, I don't know. But this kind of gets me to the next part of this, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up wasn't to necessarily talk about it, but in the comments section this week, I was kind of accused of being bought out by Bowflex.
Nice.
So there was this guy who popped in the comments, and I made a comment during the video, and we talked about this in the past of the podcast. I'm not going to rehash it, but I made a comment saying that I bought the most expensive version of this Bowflex, which was the Bowflex Max Trainer M7, whatever, because I was in a position where money didn't matter. Like it was kind of hard to explain, and it sounds sketchy, but I promise you it wasn't. It had nothing to do with Bowflex. They didn't give it to me for free, and I said that during the video, and he was like, "I really need to understand what happened there," and I explained, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I tried to be as specific as I could be without actually giving the true details because it is kind of personal. But anyway, and he kept asking me questions about it, but then he would say things like, well, I still think you were bought out. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't know if he was kidding or whatever. And then he even made a comment saying, I think to prove this is all legit, you should send me some free swag.
To prove you're not bought out, he wants to buy you out.
No, he wants me to buy him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just going to go on record and just say, like, I promise you, I wasn't bought out by Voflex. If you honestly believe that, then don't watch my videos. Seriously. Like, if you really think that that's what happened, then don't watch my videos. But it does want me to kind of bring up the question, and I want to bring this to you, Mikey, and I want to bring this up to everyone else. You know, as the channel grows, I have actually been offered some free products. Now, don't get me wrong, they've been kind of cheap products or whatever, you know, to review. There weren't products I was really interested in reviewing, but I've always turned them down. But let's say a legit company, oh, not this, sorry, that really sounds insulting. All these other companies have reached out to me. Let's say like a brand that I really recognize comes up to me and I really respect, and they want me to review a product and they're offering to give me a product. I'm trying to figure out where I need to stand on this. Obviously, if somebody gave me a product to review, I'm going to say it in the review that they gave it to me or I'm borrowing it or whatever. If I bought it myself, I'm probably not going to say anything. So I'm trying to figure out what the right way to handle that is. I do want to give full disclosure. There has only been one time in the history of the channel where I have been compensated in any way by a brand that I reviewed a product for. And that was a really specific situation where basically what happened is I posted a review of this product. They used parts of my video for an ad on Facebook. And then someone pointed out to me, I reached out to them, and then they compensated me after the fact as sort of a way to make it up to me for using my brand to promote their product. And that was it. I've never been compensated any other time other than that.
And that's a completely different situation because you were compensated in response to using your video without your permission or discussion beforehand. And so it was retroactive. It was in response, not in...
No, I wasn't paid or anything. And I liked the product. And I said that during the review. And they probably wouldn't use my video clip if I hadn't liked the product.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that's not why I did that. I had no idea they were going to do it. Anyway, so what do you think about how is that the best way to handle that? Like if, you know, as a tech channel?
I mean, I think just the transparency. I feel like there's nothing wrong with receiving products and reviewing them. I feel like it's more on the tech companies to determine a better way to handle this, right? Because obviously if you're sending me the product, I'm going to put that this is a sponsored video, right? And then along with that, because it's a sponsored video, I'm not going to sit there and bash the product. I mean, I'm going to try and be as honest as I can without being rude or bashing the product because you've sent it to me. I can't talk garbage about your product. I can't say what I really, really don't like about it. I may bring to attention things that aren't, you know, up to quality that I would think would come from this company or what have you, you know. But the bottom line is I feel like if you're really wanting a good review of your product and you're wanting to get that out there, a good honest review, which they may not want, but you may just want to recommend a product to, you know, a certain YouTuber or whatever, and then they can choose to buy that and review it. But it's such a tricky situation, right? Because you want to get the reviews out there, maybe having better guidelines, better relationships with companies, you know, like where the company works it out with you, where they send you the product. They're not paying you any money. They're not going to pay you a dime, but they want to send you the product. Whether to keep it or not, that's, you know, I mean, that's up to them. But they send it to you and you give an honest review on it.
Yeah, and I guess I'd really need to make it clear that I may have negative things to say about your product.
And you get to release
be okay
it.
with that.
And even if it's a great review and it brings them a lot of business, you don't get money for that, right? Because I feel like if you're going to be compensated afterwards, you know, financially based off how much business it brings them, then I feel like there's no way you could be... That needs to be a positive review, right? You can't give an honest review.
Well, this gets into something a little different. I mean, I do use affiliate links, and that's something that, you know, I guess somebody could argue that maybe sometimes I'm a little too positive because I might make some money if they do decide to buy the products. I don't feel I do that at all. In fact, I think sometimes I'm even a little too harsh on products, and I bring up very nitpicky things because I care about the nitpicky things. So where does that fit in? So maybe if they give me the product, don't use an affiliate link?
I feel like they gave you an affiliate link based off of your honest review, which, if I remember correctly, wasn't all positive about the item itself. So I feel like that's a whole different story.
Well, no, I have affiliate links for everything I review. So it's just like, hey, if what I've said about it sounds good, there's a link in the description. You can buy it there. But I try to do the best I can. And most tech reviewers do that. That's not just me. If you go in their description, you can buy the product and it'll make money for that.
That's a disclaimer there, is letting them know that that's an affiliate link. Not just saying
I put a disclaimer down there.
Not just saying I have the link in the description and trying to hide it, so that way they just click on it. Unbeknownst to them, they're giving you this affiliate. You said that way you have the choice. I have the choice whether I want to click on your affiliate link or go navigate myself and get the product.
Yeah, and I mean, I could honestly. Here's the thing. Like, I want to hear. Thank you for your input, Mikey. But I want to hear other people's input. How do you feel about this practice? And I try to do the best I can to be as transparent as possible. And I could understand someone criticizing me, if I do accept a product for review and saying I was too nice on it because I didn't have to buy it. I can understand that. And I can also understand somebody saying, hey, I think you were too easy on a product and too positive because you think that somebody's going to buy it through the affiliate links in your description. I can understand that, but that's not the case. I care way more about my reputation than I care about making a few cents. I mean, an affiliate link doesn't make you a lot of money. It makes you money in, like, if you sell a bunch of them, so to me, it's not even worth, losing my soul over. I put an affiliate link on whether or not I recommend the product or don't recommend the product. Because no matter what the product is, I can find negative things about it. I can find positive things about it. And some people, the negative things I bring up about it might not matter. And they might appreciate the fact that I was transparent about that. So, I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think. So, send us some feedback on the Anchor app. And I will give you details on how to do that at the end of the show. Or you can email us at podcast@thesearchforawesome.co.
So, last week we talked about Fortnite and how it was going mobile. And it's going mobile before PUBG. And we talked about a couple interesting factors there. Well, we just found out that PUBG is now going mobile. It's supposed to be live currently, but yet if you look at the Play Store, I have not yet to find it. I have the Google Pixel 2 XL, which I feel like it's not like I have an old phone here that maybe it's not showing up on. So I find that really interesting, right? But apparently the app is supposed to be free. Now, here's the real kicker. So not only is it free versus you're paying for the game for PC or Xbox, the game on Xbox is actually an alpha stage. So there's only like one map that you can play on. There's not a whole lot. And then apparently eventually we're going to go into beta and then later into the final stage, into the actual full release of the game. When I was reading the article, it says that the app is supposed to be up to date with the PC game.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
That makes no sense to me at all. And here's what I think is happening. I think they've been working on this for a while, and then Fortnite started coming out. Because just like we were talking about, Fortnite has really created a lot of waves, with their just all ages style versus PUBG being more of, I feel like, a kind of an older content for older, an older generation, not necessarily for younger generations. And then the fact that it's free and now they're coming to mobile. I feel like PUBG totally just like, let's hurry up and push this out. We've got to release this now, because I feel like Fortnite was taking a lot of the steam and PUBG didn't know what else to do. So they quickly threw this out there. I can't imagine that they were going to release it like that with the Xbox version still sitting in limbo, which they have started recently doing more updates to work a little smoother and stuff like that, but yet we still only have one map, which is frustrating to me, knowing they have them.
And how many are on PC?
Oh goodness, I don't know, but there's way more than one.
Okay, wow.
I've seen at least, I want to say, 4 different maps that I've never got to play.
Yeah, and they said it works on 500 Android devices, I guess. It also doesn't work on my OnePlus 3 or your Pixel, so yeah, as you said, so it's really weird.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest. I think even though PUBG is technically beating Fortnite to mobile, or at least it sounds like they are, I don't know. It sounds like they're going to be hitting pretty close to the same time. If I was a betting man, I would say that PUBG is going to have a lot more bugs than Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
I think the development team for Fortnite has just been rock solid, it seems like, and they've been very fast. But I don't know, PUBG may be stepping their game up. Competition's good, so we'll see what goes on with it.
I feel like when it comes to Fortnite versus PUBG, if either one of them was going to be able to wipe the other one off the map, it would be Fortnite wiping PUBG off the map. Now, mind you, this is coming from someone who plays PUBG. I really enjoy PUBG. I like it way better, but I feel like Fortnite has a lot more ground to stand on there. I don't feel like PUBG has any ground to stand on to be able to wipe Fortnite off the map.
Well, we'll see how this one plays out, but I mean, it does seem like Fortnite is doing strong, but PUBG is definitely making waves. But I will say that they did start developing the mobile version, I guess, last year. They just hadn't said anything about it until Fortnite announced they're going to have a mobile version. And then all of a sudden, PUBG is coming out. At least that's how I've read it. So, oh, yeah. And by the way, tell me that PUBG, the mobile version being free, was not a response to Fortnite. Come on.
Yeah. No, that's
they didn't charge a cent for it. So now there's going to be, is there microtransactions in PUBG? I didn't know if there was. I think there are. So now there's just going to probably be a lot more, I would think.
Yeah.
They already have server issues. I don't know. I think PUBG's spreading themselves too thin.
Microtransactions are the future, unfortunately. I mean, we're not getting away from that anytime soon.
Pay to win. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as beating a game, basically. If you beat a game, that was like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about, I got something I want to talk to you about, Mikey, and I just sent you a link.
Okay.
So this is something I just heard about. I don't know if it's legit, but it does seem like a really cool, at least a cool marketing thing by Samsung. And I don't know how long it's been around, but I heard about it recently. I was watching an episode of Game 3 on YouTube, and he talked about it for a second. And I was like, I got to look into this. So basically, Samsung has come out with what they're calling Unspoil Me. And so it's a way for you to basically relive your favorite shows and movies for the very first time again. And if you go through that link, and I'll have a link in the description and in the show notes, but if you go through that link, it'll basically take you to, I guess, like a video or some kind of interactive experience that it's basically hypnotism by way of video. It's a 23-minute thing. They'll tell you to close your eyes, and it'll walk you through it. And then, and I guess, I haven't tried it yet, but I guess what it does is at the end of it, you're supposed to forget whatever show or movie that you're thinking about. And I guess you remember it exists, but you forget all the key features of the movie. So you can go back and watch it again for the first time.
No way that's true. No way.
I know. I mean, it probably isn't, but it's such a cool idea, though.
I'm going to do this.
You're going to do it? Okay. I'm going to do it, too. I'm going to do it this week. My favorite trilogy is the Dark Knight trilogy. I love the Batman. I'm not a big Batman fan, but the Dark Knight trilogy was like my favorite. Christopher Nolan, the director, did an amazing job. The acting was great. The storylines were so good. And I was thinking about it today, and I was trying to remember, okay, do I actually remember these movies? That way I know if it works or not, because if I don't remember them now, then that doesn't really do me any good. I forgot the movie, and I don't remember. Anyway, But I was thinking all through all the movies. I do remember some of the key points in all the movies, and I've seen them several times. I want to go back and watch them again. Technically, it's supposed to be for TV shows, but I mean, this is like 6.5 hours of movies. So I think it would have the same effect. I hope. If it doesn't work, I might try it with The Office or Lost or something.
And I don't know if you've ever watched the show, but I think I'm going to do it with Eureka.
I watched a few of them. I never completed that one. But that one of your faves?
I loved that show. That is probably one of my favorite shows. That or something like Wonder Years.
Really? Wonder Years?
Yeah, that was...
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. That's mean.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that the Sunday, Monday, Happy? No, that's Happy Days.
It's Wonder Years with Kevin Arnold. It was Fred Savage. He played Kevin Arnold. And then you had Winnie Cooper. And...
You know, one I would like to do is Boy Meets World, mentioning Fred Savage, because his brother was...
Ben Savage? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good show. I bought all the DVDs of that show a long time ago. I should do it for Boy Meets World. It'd be fun. All right, so I'm going to try it with Dark Knight first, and you're going to try it with something. We're going to come back next week. We'll let you know if it worked, if we can remember what happened in the movies. How about this? How about right now, you say a few things that you remember in the show. I'll say a few things I remember about the Dark Knight movies, and that way... Next week, we'll see if we remember them. Okay, so... That way, it's kind of like... It's not really scientific, but...
So in Eureka, one of the biggest things I remember when they got the smart house...
By the way, it might be a spoiler alert if you haven't seen either of these.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. In one of the episodes, they get this smart automated house, and it's named Sarah. And Sarah kind of loses control a little bit and goes crazy. I'm trying to remember what all happens, but I remember the smart home being Sarah.
What?
So we'll see if I can remember that. Let's see. What's another detail?
Here, you think about that, and I'll go through my Dark Knight ones. So from the first movie, I remember his mansion burning because of his mentor basically burning it. The second one, I remember Toothface. I'm just mentioning major points. Toothface holding the I don't know if he's the commissioner or whatever, Gordon's family hostage at the very end. And the third one, I remember the nuclear bomb being taken by Batman away from the city. So those are like the three of the major things that happened in all the movies. So if I don't remember any of that next week, then you know this worked. You think of yours other ones?
Honestly, I'll have to think about it. I feel like it's hard to remember stuff from the show. Like I can picture it, but to remember details to describe, that's a tough one. I feel like Lost is one that would be way easier because there's definitely key points that are easy to remember. Like the first time they come across the smoke monster, when they first hear it, and then when they first actually witness it, when they're actually at the plane wreckage trying to get the stuff from the plane, the radio.
Yeah, I don't remember Lost too well. I remember loving that show though.
I remember like every detail of that show. You know, when they first find the hatch, and then they find out that there's someone down there.
Oh yeah, the guy with the numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll try it for Lost then?
I think I'll do it for Lost. We'll see.
So you say right now you remember it pretty clearly. I remember Batman pretty clearly.
I remember Lost really clearly.
I don't remember Lost that well, so it probably wouldn't be a good test for me. But I think Batman would probably be. If it works for me for Batman, I remember that movie pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like glimmers though. It's not like line by line. But anyway, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And if you have any questions or comments or anything we talked about, and I definitely want your feedback again about what do you think on the Search for Awesome channel is appropriate for a reviewer, should, in terms of how I work with companies. Should I work with them at all? Should I only buy stuff? Or is it okay to accept free things as long as I'm as honest as I can be? You can get us feedback either by messaging us on the Anchor app that's in the iOS or Google Play Store. Just download the app, find our podcast, and send us a voicemail. Last week, we had somebody do that, and we played it on the show. So if you want that to be you next week, then that's your way of doing it. Or you can email us at podcast@thesearchforawesome.co. I hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you next time.